terms of a black person looking like someone. There's a story recently. Caleb King. He's a practice squad running back for the Minnesota Vikings.
Where did he go to college?
Georgia, I think.
Oh, okay. So he's probably a big time college.
Yeah, but he
player.
had some trouble in college, so he didn't get drafted. But anyway, I think it was his first year last year. He had an altercation in a bar with a guy he was hanging out with. Apparently, they had girlfriends or female common friends, and everything was going fine until this guy is Caleb King is black, by the way. This guy said he looks like Eddie Murphy. This Caleb King guy does.
Okay.
Which apparently set him off. Because he starts punching, and the guy goes into his car. He opens the car door, throws him against the ground, beats the crap out of him.
Allegedly.
I'm assuming that this is a white guy that said that. Otherwise, why would you get so mad about someone? Because Eddie Murphy, he's a decent-looking guy. He's a
good-looking guy. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like Tyrese Gibson, but I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
Right. It can in no way be considered an insult, unless this guy was white, maybe, and he took it every black guy looks the same to you route.
Well, they're in Minnesota, so the odds are that, yes, he's white. See, let me tell you something. When I was, I guess, in the last 10 years, I've been told I look like two different people. One is Nicolas Cage, which makes me laugh.
What?
Yeah. The other is I'm told that I look like Chris Elliott. Now, I should beat someone. If I could, I would, but I can't. So you tell me I look like Chris Elliott, you're basically saying you are ugly. There's really no other way. Now, if they say you look like a good-looking Chris Elliott, then I'd say, okay, I appreciate you saying that. But to say I look like Chris Elliott, that's an insult. Do you agree with that?
It is. And there's no reason for anyone to say that you look like someone unless you ask, hey, which celebrity do I look like?
Well, I don't mind somebody saying that I look like someone, because when I was growing up, they used to say I look like Jerry Seinfeld. I never hear that anymore. Then I've heard the Chris Elliott from multiple people, and I've heard Nicolas Cage from multiple people. I know, I can't, I'm not saying that I look like Nicolas Cage, but I've now heard that from 4 or 5 different people. That's not the point. The point is, if you think I look like Nicolas Cage, he's good looking enough that you can say that to me. What if I said, hey, I think your girlfriend looks like Precious? That's you know what I mean? You can't do that. If
yes,
you do
that's awful. Well, is it, and I'll ask our black listeners, all 4 of you, if you can, on Twitter, at Rob and Joe Show, or on our Facebook, or just let us know, is it offensive, or you're in the chat right now, is it offensive to think one black guy looks like another, even if they don't really look alike to you? Does that make sense?
Well, I will say as a white person that I am reluctant to tell a black person that they look like somebody. Sometimes I'll see a black person and he'll look exactly like somebody. I won't do it.
Right, because you're afraid. But what's wrong with that?
Oh, in chat, I have heard that. Anthony Edwards. I've heard that a lot as well.
Okay.
That it looked like Dr. Green from ER.
You're not McDreamy from
No, and I'm not even Anthony Edwards from Top Gun. I'm him once he's lost his hair and look bad. Then I look like him.
Because in our defense, a lot of the way you tell someone apart, a male especially, is the hair color, the hairstyle, right?
Right.
The eye color, maybe.
Caps up 1-0 real quick. Go ahead.
Sweet. I mean, that's why black guys look closer to each other than white guys do. There's nothing racist about that, right? Why do I feel uncomfortable even saying that?
Well, I mean, I think that if you say, okay, look, all black men have dark curly hair. Now, every once in a while, you'll get like a redheaded black guy. You follow what I'm saying?
Well, I would remember that guy. I would never say.
But for the most part, they all have the same color hair and the same texture hair.
Right.
Well, doesn't just that one quality always being the same? Just like Japanese guys all have straight black hair. I mean, isn't that, we're not allowed to say that?
Oh, they look the same too. But wait a minute. No, I mean more the same. Because I looked at this picture of Caleb King. We can put it up on probably put it on our site, or if no one cares, we won't. But because he doesn't really look like Eddie Murphy. But then the more I looked at him, then I said, I can see it.
He looks at nothing like. Hold on, Eric, the actor in chat said Blake Griffin and Sinbad look the same. I understand. I was just forget it. We're gonna get ourselves in trouble.
Like, I don't think Robert Griffin III looks like Michael Vick.
No,
The dreads.
that's why, because of the
That's really why. Like, I was at this open mic, or it was some comedy show, and this black comic walks up to me. I said, "What's up, Marcus?" Thinking it was this guy, Marcus. It was Eddie. But they
Hey.
look alike. But then I'm afraid to say
uncomfortable.
that to someone because they're going to say, no, they look nothing alike. I'm like, whatever.
Remember when we were watching the Redskins Dallas game at my house, and you were getting out of your car, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" It ended up being a black guy. Do you remember that? He was going to watch the game next door. You consider that the biggest compliment of your life?
It was a big compliment. Yeah. I just don't think, and it's black men that look more like it's because women there's more hair situations going on. But I think it's not racist to think that there's a closer resemblance among black men than there is amongst white men. Is that the worst thing to say?
Is it okay if you go up to a black guy and go, "You know who you look like," and you're like Paul Giamatti? Like, if you say a black guy looks like a white guy, that can't be racist, right? Because
It can't be, no.
you're not saying all black people look alike. You're saying he looks like a white guy.
But I'm so afraid of saying that. Like, if there were two black identical twins, I would say, no, you look nothing alike.
You'd be
I don't
afraid.
see it at all.
That is funny. If you saw black identical twins, would you genuinely be afraid? Like, I'm trying to think, do we know any black identical twins? I actually know some, but the reference is going to be lost on most of the audience.
Well, let's just honest question. Let's say you meet this black guy. His name's Dave. You don't know
Right.
anything about him. You're casual friends. Maybe you work together. You see him from time to time at some church or something. And then a month later, when you know it's not Dave, because Dave's out of town or something, you meet Steve, who happens to be his identical twin.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a word.
You wouldn't say, you know, you look like my friend.
Nope, I wouldn't do it.
Even if they're exactly the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
And neither would I.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because that's not even. If you said, "Hey, you look like President Barack Obama," and the guy looks like Barack Obama, you're like, "Okay, I look like a celebrity." But if you say, "I just look like some other random dude that you know," and then there's no relation, yeah, they're going to be offended by that.
But you would say that if it was a white guy. If you saw a guy look exactly
Oh,
like
yeah,
me,
no doubt.
you
Of
would
course
say
I
you look
would.
like my friend Rob Mayer.
Well, there's no racial stereotype of people saying all white people look alike. So I'm sensitive to that, to not offending people.
But black people think all white people sound alike.
You mean when they do the white person impersonation?
Yes.
There.
All the white guys sound the same.
Now, there was a comedy show that we're going to talk about.